How in the world wide web are you on this fine day? I am Kevin Colby, and I am so excited to be with you. Whether you are watching this live on either my channel or Ecamm Live, because we do this thing together and we multicast every other Friday on both our channels. By the way, this whole show is powered by Ecamm Live. I said it's a partnership, and it is. But Ecamm Live is the absolute, positively, hands down, Vulcan cross my heart way to live stream. And if you want to give it a shot, what you need to do, there's a link down in the description where you can try Ecamm Live out for 14 days free. I don't even think it takes a credit card. You'll eventually need one because you're going to want it. And in a little bit, if it works as planned, I'm going to have a special guest, and we're going to talk about a brand new feature that was just launched like yesterday in beta on Ecamm Live. That is money. So anyway, I'm thankful for that. By the way, whatever channel you're watching this on, hit that subscribe button. So if you're on my channel, a little bit more about me is I love to share tips and tools to help people like you share your gifts and make an impact with video. So if that sounds like something, hit that subscribe button. And hit that subscribe button on the Ecamm side too, because I'm telling you, it's just absolutely amazing. Look at this. Look who's checking in. Adrian Salisbury. There's nothing like Ecamm Live. We love it. And check out Adrian's channel if you haven't. He does amazing Ecamm tutorials. Dude, I've learned from you. It's like, oh, how do I do this? And I go to Adrian's channel. I'm like, oh, that's right. And look at this. Megametros. Okay, now I can say hi. Hello to you. By the way, at any point you want to drop in and say hi, say hi. I always like Ecamm Live saying, hey, Kevin. Hello, back at you. Adrian, seriously though, dude, Adrian has a phenomenal channel, and I don't know if you know this, you might pick up from the accent, but he's British. Go figure. And who else we have here? Ross is saying, good day from the windy and dark South Australia. By the way, I hope I just didn't insult all the Australians down there by my accent. I do try and sound like I'm there, but I'm from the South, so it's just whatever. Says your Ecamm comments look different than mine. Maybe I need to try it again. I don't know. Today we're going to be talking about lighting. I'm going to share with you what I think are the 3 most common mistakes I see people make with lighting. And some of these are just, you get in a hurry, you try different things. But then I also share with you some of the tips that you can use, like right now, to make your live stream look better. And if you're worried about budget, I'm going to share some tips that will cost you that'd be $0. $0. And then in a little bit, like I said, Katie's going to join us. I hope so. Because, did I say Katie? I gave it away. Katie Fox from Ecamm is going to join us, and she's going to be talking to us about this just crazy cool feature. Look at this. We got hello from, is that River TV? Am I saying that right? Hello from Arizona. Hello from you. Hello from here. I guess that would be right. I see somebody back in the green room, so she's here. We're going to be talking about that. So one of the things we're going to be talking about today is lighting. And again, whether you're watching this on the live stream right now on either Ecamm's channel or mine, you can always drop a comment, drop a tip. If I say something I don't know about that. And if you're watching this on the playback, and I realize a lot of folks are, but please continue to add a comment, because we can always get back to those and try that. What in the world does that mean? Sorry, I'm jacked up on coffee, which is not a bad thing. But whether you're watching this live or on replay, you can always drop a comment, and we'll always get back to you. I'm sorry, somebody was asking something. So some of the mistakes I see in lighting. Now look, if I were to ask you a question, what do you think the most important part of video is? What would you say? Go ahead, I'll wait. I mean, I'm not going to wait long, but Believe it or not, the most important part of video is audio. Yeah, audio. And this one is about lighting, but just go with me for a second. People will put up with some extremely crappy video. But if they can't hear you, then they're not going to stick around. Lighting, though, I don't know. I would. This might be a debate, but lighting is a very close second because they have to be able to see you. So once they can hear you, they have to be able to see you. Now, again, lighting can be tricky, and I'm not going to be getting into today about just some really, really in deep stuff. I want to talk about just simple things that you can do to really make it look good. Did I fire the open? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Behind the Live. I worked really hard on that. And the whole point of Behind the Live, and it is the partnership with Ecamm Live, is just to help you get into live streaming and maybe make it easier for you to go, yeah, I do want to live stream. And Ecamm, again, is a phenomenal platform for that. So let me share with you what I think are the 3 most common mistakes that I see. And if you have some other ones, drop them in the comment. Number 1 is not enough light. Well, that might go without saying, but yeah, seriously, not enough light. So like right now, and I'm going to show you in just a second the light I'm using here, but there's a window right over, let me get my finger going. There's a window right over here. I'll show you in a second. And then I have an LED panel light right here that is so cool. You can roll it up like a blanket, and you could probably use it as a pillow. I don't know. I haven't tried that. But right now, if I were to turn this off, let me show you. I got to lean over here. I don't have a remote. All right, right now, you see, okay, did you see what happened? My camera is trying to focus on me and find me, and it's having a really hard time. Now, I have a little light in the background. Now, let me show you this. Let me go to my webcam. Now, the webcam doesn't look as bad. The webcam doesn't look as bad, because there's some more natural light. I have no overhead light on. But if I go back to my M50, which is what I'm on right now, but watch what happens. Look at that. And we'll talk about this light in just a minute. But that all of a sudden just looked better. So that's one. Another one is too much light. Once again, going to the old manual hand without the remote. I'm going to show you this. Watch. I'm just going to blast this. So right there. Holy crap. I can't even see. But look how... If you guys are out there, just say, hey, we're still here. I can't see you. But I'm going to go to my webcam. And it looks kind of better. Like right here, though, it's just like, ugh. Okay, that's another common mistake is too much light. Excuse me. Pardon me. And I'm going to bring this down just a little. Is that better? Yeah, it's kind of better. I'll go with that. Now, here's the thing. You can also make adjustments in your camera. So like right now, I'm shooting at, the lens I have on my Canon M50 is a Sigma 16mm lens. That's why it gives you the nice blurry backgrounds called bokeh. And I have it at 1.4 on the aperture. And so what that does is it controls the light and things like that. So actually, I think I messed it up. There we go. But that's another common mistake is too much light. So it's called, like, what we call it is it's blown out. And another one is placement. I am not a ring light fan. Now, look, if you have a ring light, they're great. And I used to have one, and I sold it, which is what I tend to do a lot. Ring lights are fine. If you wear glasses, like these are readers, if you wear glasses, it is going to be almost virtually impossible to get. You're going to see the ring in the glasses. Now, even if you take your glasses off, you'll still be able to kind of see them in your eyes, which is okay. Now ring light, it gives you a nice look that is going to be just what do you want to call it? It's even all the way around, but if you don't want that in there, so a lot of times what I see a lot is people say, well, how can I get the light out of my glasses? And I'm going to show you that in just a second, because placement can be a major, major part. So, Before I get into the tips, how about this? I want to bring in now. Let me make sure. Let me make sure of something because we tried this before. Oh, she's already there. Ladies and gentlemen, a big warm round of applause for I love live streaming. I love it. I went to your camera. I didn't look. I went to Katie's camera and what do I see? Her chair.
My chair. Hang on one sec, guys. Kevin, distract them for a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay. Back to me. So, here's the cool thing about live and we've talked about this before. You know, if yeah, she's saying, "Oops." Absolutely. But you know, here's the thing. You're back, right? Here's the thing. Where are you? If if you let the fear of something going wrong, Katie, tell me if you agree with this. If you let the fear of something going wrong keep you from live streaming, then you know it's gonna happen. It's life.
You guys, I would say maybe even 2 years ago. So I've now been working with Ecamm for just over a year. About 2 years ago, if you had asked me to get onto any kind of video, live video, having my photo taken, I would have been like, I'm good. I don't need the benefit of that. I think it's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And now it's just become so second nature that I somehow thought I could run and get my power cord and be back here. And it was not the case. So.
Well, if you have any questions about Katie's chair that we got a really nice shot of, just make sure you ask that, and she can put that and model. Hey, and look at this, Mega is saying her light is good.
My light is good. You know what is really funny, Mega, is that I am literally right now. So we're at the Ecamm team. We have an office that's about 35 minutes from me. Obviously, in the middle of what's still somewhat of a lockdown here in the US. I've been working mostly from home, and we're opening another office that'll be really close, like down the street from where I am. So I'm building out a studio there, but here at home I have a scrapbooking light that I have pointed up towards me, and I've like figured out exactly where to position it to get it to look somewhat good. Every now and then I have like a light behind me that causes some issues. So I'm actually excited to learn just as much as you guys are from how I can improve my lighting with what I have here when I'm at home. I mean, certainly when you're in a bigger studio or you're in a space with more permanent, better gear, it's great. But sometimes even just thinking through like where your windows are or what kind of extra lights you have in your space can go a really long way. And I've learned that just by failing publicly over and over again.
Look, you know, a lot of things are just about trying stuff. Katie's going to tell you about this just stinking cool, which is good, new feature that launched yesterday in beta, and you know, and there was somebody in the group that you know was asking, well, what does this do? You know, it was a couple of arrows, and people were giving her like legit answers, and I said, just push it, just push it and see what happens.
Yeah, no, I know, right? Yeah. Well, so since I showed up late and for some reason thought this started at 2, because that's the kind of week that I'm going. I am super excited to delayed announcement after we've already made the announcement that we have been working for the last probably year at this point to develop our own interviewing system. So prior to yesterday, if you wanted to bring on a guest using Ecamm Live, you needed to use Skype or you needed to use screen sharing in Zoom. It was not super easy. It was a little bit cumbersome. You had to teach people how to use other software and be running multiple software open on your computer just to bring on a guest. And obviously, in the world that we're all living in right now, being able to connect with other people, being able to have these kinds of conversations, whether they're live or recorded or just having a meeting or a brainstorming session, is so important to our entire world at the moment. So we're really excited. We are done-ish. We've moved interview into what we call a public beta, which means that anyone out there is welcome to give it a try. So if you have a Mac computer, whether you are an Ecamm Live customer or you're brand new, you're just hearing about us right now, you can jump into our beta testing group. We'll drop the link into the comments here below. Or you can go to ecamm.com/beta, BETA, and you'll be able to download the beta version to give our interview function a try. So this is what Kevin is bringing me on with right now. It's all web-based, so it's just a link. Guests don't have to be running on a Mac computer. They don't have to have Ecamm Live. They can come in on any device, almost any browser. So it makes it really, really, really simple and just a great way to be able to network and build really
Yeah.
amazing content and connect with each other at a time where we are not often face to face. So hopefully you guys will give it a try. Let us know what you think. And likely we'll be sitting in this beta testing phase for probably a few weeks before we, as we are kind of constantly taking your feedback and updating and getting it out there. But we're pretty close, so it'll be, I assume, platform wide in the next little bit here. So excited to hear everyone's feedback and get all of the fixes and updates in over the
Yeah.
next couple as people are testing it out.
Yeah, and so prior to this, the only way to really kind of do it was through Skype.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a big Skype fan. I'm less of a Zoom fan. Skype, I mean, Skype, honestly, for just phone calls and stuff like that or video calls, I think it's fine. But when you're trying to do like a video podcast or something like this, it's tough. And I mean, so one of the things that's really cool is, and you may have seen in some of the demos, and I think we want to show this in one of the behind the lives too, is how you can set up scenes so easily in Ecamm. And so I use something called a stream deck, and I can show you in just a second.
Yeah.
And so what happens is, like, this is a scene. Let me just go. So there's me, and there's a scene I'd already put in there that was a second ago just me in the chair.
Hey, the chair looks good.
There you go. And then I've done another one with the names, and I could have the names flying or not. And then there's just Katie. And so you've got so many options, and we're not limited to just me and Katie. I mean, we can have up to like so basically you and I could have 4 other people in, correct?
Yes, you can have 5 total people on screen, a host plus 4 guests. And as you add people in, there are a few different configurations. So there's like the split screen, like we're rocking right now. There's a 3-way split screen. When you get 4, you have 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, Brady Bunch style. And when you get all the way to 5, it's 3 on the top, 2 on the bottom. And so, yeah, so you can have a full conversation. Many people we're seeing are using it for call-in shows. So they're actually setting their Ecamm interview link up using like Rebrandly or bit.ly and creating a customized link, leaving it in the comments. And people then are able to join their show, and they can do things like, see how their video quality is looking, answer questions live, have important conversations or panel discussions, do channel reviews if they're on the YouTube side of things. So there's a lot of functionality there. People can come in and out really easily and fairly smoothly. Obviously, as a guest, you would need to have some kind of camera, whether it's your phone that you're using or a built-in webcam or all the way up to a professional camera, and some sort of mic. So, again, whether it's your built-in or all the way up to professional audio equipment, they need to see you and hear you at the moment to be able to bring you in.
And we had this question. So the only guy needs to have the software, right?
Only Kevin needs to have the software. Yeah, so I actually am also using Ecamm Live. I'm feeding it back in using our virtual camera, but yes, only the host needs to be using Ecamm Live and needs to be on a Mac because Ecamm is a Mac-only software. But guests can come on through any different kind of computer or tablet or their phone, whatever works for the kind of broadcast you're
and I'm probably the reason Katie's on hers too is because keep in mind we're multicasting, multi-streaming, whatever you want to call it, multicasting on both the Ecamm Live YouTube channel and my YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe to both. But as the other person, if Katie was just joining somehow otherwise, so she's just a guest from somebody else, Katie has the option of actually seeing the comments come in. She can change the size of the screen that she's displaying. And this is another cool feature. If she had a presentation, we can share her screen.
Yeah, so it has all the same functionality that you hopefully are familiar with at this point with interviewing in general. So yeah, absolutely share a screen. If I had a green screen behind me, Kevin could actually put me in any kind of any kind of background behind me. He could put me on a beach or in a home office or in a castle or who knows where. So that's kind of fun. And Kevin also has full controls over all of my audio and over my picture quality. So he can do things like zoom or pan me in or out to make our heads closer to the same size, or
Hmm.
adjust lighting or color or temperature, apply LUTs. So any all of the same functionality and control that you are used to with Ecamm Live exists within our interview feature. So you can kind of go as basic and as just getting started, bring a guest on, and as
Yeah.
complicated as bringing a full remote production where you're not even on screen but you're managing all of your guests to make really amazing broadcast quality.
And there's, I mean, so we did a little test, I don't know, a couple hours ago today, and I had assigned her to, they're called placeholders and things like that, guest one, two, or three, four. But you could do it on the fly. So if you know, like, you're going to do a show and either somebody is, you're saying, hey, why don't you guys call in, or you pop in if you want to and you share the link, or your guest is coming in later. Like, actually, Katie, I know we had your chair, but that was on me. But when Katie popped in, I don't know, a couple of minutes after I had started, and I see her on my screen pop in, well, I've already set it up so I could just add it. But if I hadn't done that, you can quickly just assign it. And it may sound odd, it's like if you don't see it, there's already some tutorials out there. I'll probably do one soon too. It is a phenomenal feature, and it can go up to high res too, right? I mean, we're not holding back. It's not like VHS quality here.
No, I mean it's you can connect any kind of camera, any kind of microphone in, so it goes as high quality as the gear that you're using. And Ecamm also always creates a local recording of every single live stream
Yeah.
or recorded broadcast that you make. So whether you're live streaming or you're just using this to create content that you're sharing later, you can select what quality you want to come in at. So all the way from 4K down to lowest quality, you pick what you're coming in at.
So Katie said, "Hey, before I crash your show, I have something that I demand, and that's we give some swag away, some merch away, right?"
Yeah, I had a ton of fun working with our team to create a bunch of different fun pieces of merch. And they're just sitting there right now on merch.ecamm.com. You can absolutely buy it, or you can win it if you hang out if you hang out with us long enough.
So here's what we're gonna do. Here's a little. So if you want a chance to win some merch, here's what you have to do. In the comments on either my channel or Ecamm's, you have to put Kevin and Katie rock.
Yeah.
So the reason she's laughing because this is not what we planned earlier. I said, why don't we say something like, I don't want to say what we're going to say because then you put that. But right now you see a screenshot of some of the merch. I mean, I've got the cap, not the cap. I've got the coffee cup. I've got the Glenn and Ken stickers. They're actually over on my bookcase in a very just place where there's light going on them, and when I walk by, they go, "Hey, Kevin." I'm just joking. I'm trying to see if I can get them on as a tattoo. But look at this. I mean, there's a laptop cover. There's a phone case. There's a beanie hat. There's a backpack. Yeah, I'm saying this like you can't see it, but anyway, the Ecamm hat, the ball cap, which I'll just say this now. I don't have one, Katie. Um, so you're giving away 5 winners.
Giving away five winners. I'm looking right now. I see Platt Spring UMC. I see Ross Boundy. I see RVERTV and Meg Megatros are our 5 winners. So definitely thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you email marketing@ecamm.com with your name, mailing address, and what you want, we will get those sent off to you later today.
And if anybody's interested in just buying their own merch or looking at it, what's the web address for that?
Yeah, so it's merch, merch.ecamm.com.
Excellent. Who doesn't like free stuff? And look, here's the thing. just feed our ego a little. Even if you don't win, just keep typing in Kevin and Katie rock. I mean, what the heck? I mean, we've got kids and family. We can always show them, hey, look, people think we rock.
It's absolutely true. I love that. I love that. So yeah, I don't want to take up your entire broadcast because I actually really want to learn about lighting, but I just wanted to pop in and let everyone know that it is game on for interviewing. So if you want to do an interview, again, swing on over to ecamm.com/beta. You can join our Ecamm Live Beta group on Facebook. Just search Ecamm Live Beta. It'll come up. Click join in. We'd love to hear your feedback over the next couple of weeks. We're answering all tickets and questions that come in. Now is a great time to make any feature suggestions. So if there's something you wish it did, now is the time. We're actively finishing off this feature and rolling it out really soon. So hopefully everyone will try. Can't wait to see everyone's interviews.
and we'll probably let's drop the link to the merch in there too, just in case, so ladies and gentlemen, Katie Fox, Ecamm. Always a good time. Always a good time chatting with her. So let's get back to lighting and making sure you have some lighting ideas for your live stream. So here's one of the things, one of the tips I will give you, and it's about placement. Now, the funny thing is, somebody mentioned something, so this is going to be a bonus tip I had not. Somebody said in the comments, and I'd have to go back and find it, hey, Kevin, I can see the Mac in your glasses, and that is true. So one of the tricks you can do, if I hit the right button here, is I can reduce the dimness. Did you notice that? You don't see it as much. Now, it'll kind of freak you out because what's happening is all I'm doing is reducing the brightness of my monitor, but you don't see it in my glasses. Now, I'm gonna bring it up just a little. So that's just something to think about. Just remember you do that because if you, I've had this happen. If you start to edit and you all of a sudden think, dang, my footage is dark, and you start messing with it, then you're gonna have a heap of problems. So that is one. But think about your placement. So I use, and I mentioned it at the beginning, and by the way, I've put a link down in the description on both channels of the lights that I recommend and I use. It's like kit.co/Kevin Colby lights or something like that. But anyway, those are the lights that I have and use and recommend. There are lights that you can have that are not that expensive. They're inexpensive. I'm going to give you one free option here in just a minute. But the main light that I used a few minutes ago, remember I was turning it off, turning it on, kind of dimming it a little. It's called a Falcon Eyes. It's a matte light. But if you notice, other than the monitor in my glasses, if you notice, you don't see the light, right? Unless I do that. But here's what I want to show you. So I'm gonna switch to my iPhone just to give you an example. So right now, and I'm moving further away from my mic, I apologize. But that right there, so when I'm live streaming, this is what I see. There's my stream deck, that's pushing everything. And look, that's my light. So if you can imagine, so right now, if I move in here, let's see if you can see me. So there's the window I mentioned. There's the light right there. And so what happens is the way I have the light is it's up just enough above, slanted down just a little. I can't give you the exact measurements. I don't know if it's 45 degrees or something like that. But what happens is it gives me just enough light that it's not in my glasses and I can control it. Now, this one doesn't have a remote control. It's a nice light. It's more of a rectangle, and then I've got that, here, let me show you one more time. I'm sorry it's blown out, kind of that mesh thing on it, that eggshell thing, and what that does is it disperses the light better. The nice thing about this light, and I'm a huge Falcon Lights fan. I've got other lights that are Falcon Lights. They make smaller ones and bigger ones too. And I think that light is around $160-ish. But literally, and I wasn't joking if you heard me earlier, you can roll that light up and throw it in a backpack, take it with you, and it's waterproof. Hopefully I don't need that in my house. So that is one idea, is angle your lights up. Now here's another bonus tip I hadn't thought about. But if you see my walls in the background, they might look white. They're very, very light gray. I love gray. Darker gray I like. In fact, office I did have, the walls were just too dark gray, and so it took more light. Now, right now, where I am, it's about 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, so there's plenty of light coming in the window. Obviously, if we were doing this at night, I might need more light in the background. But that is another tip, is if you're in a place that you can control the color, the paint, consider painting the walls lighter. There's some people that go white. The reason is because you get more bounce. So you can even, like, if your space is too tight, you can bounce the light off the wall, off the ceiling if you want to, just to get a little bit more. So that's another one. Natural light. This is the free option. God gave us free light every day, even cloudy. So use natural light. Now, here's the key with natural light, though. Believe it or not, natural light doesn't look as bad on like the Canon M50. The phone you have to be careful with. The webcam you really have to be careful with, because it can blow out too much. It can get too bright. So, but if you have a window, use the window. Now, don't ever put the window behind you. I actually saw somebody in the comments the other day. I'm not gonna say. I don't know who the guy is. I don't want to say it. But he was having trouble with his lighting, and he did a picture, and he, bless his heart, as my mother says, the dude is in like full silhouette, and there's a huge window behind him that looks like there's a mega spotlight. And he goes, "Hey, I need help with my lighting," and I don't say it's the window, because I don't want to mess with that. Well, dude, it's the window. I don't know what to tell you. So if you have a bright light behind you, it's just going to wash everything out, and then you're going to have to put more light on your face or really mess with the aperture and things like that on your camera. So what I would suggest, natural light is great. I'll be honest, whenever I can shoot with natural light, that's my number one choice. That's my number one choice, is shooting with light, because it's just better. Sometimes. Now, it can be harsh if you shoot out like in the middle of the day. You're going to have just shadows and brightness and stuff like that. But again, you can put it to the side and things like that, and it just makes it really, really easy. And by the way, as I'm giving you my tips, if there's one that I don't mention, drop yours in there, because we'd love to hear from the community about some things that you think, hey, how about this? How about that? Another one is do it yourself. You can go to like a hardware store, a Lowe's or an Ace Hardware or a Home Depot or somewhere like that, or a salvage store. And you can get a lamp. So I don't know if you've seen them, but they're shop lamps. And get an LED bulb. Now you can get like a daytime LED, you can get a soft, and it'll show you how many lumens, which just means bright, in there, and do it yourself. Just literally do it yourself. Other things you can do are accent. Now, it's so bright in my office today, but if you look right, so see that light, right? I can't ever point. There we go. I'll do it that way. That light right there. So that is, I don't think they call that one the Japanese lantern, but I got it at Home or Home Goods or something like that. And it's got an LED soft light bulb in there. So as it gets darker in here, it gets... it gives me some accent light in the back. I could add lights to my bookcase back there if I wanted to, with all my swag and stuff. Now, the thing to be careful about, though, is make sure if you're adding lights to the background, they're more accent. So what I would recommend is, if you wanted to add more lights to the background, let's say you got your foreground looking pretty good, start small. Add a light here, add a light there, and that way it's going to be better, and you're not spending a lot of money, and it's amazing what you can do. But anyway, you can DIY it. So you could go and get a lamp. Literally get a lamp. I saw somebody, I thought this was brilliant the other day. They had literally a desk lamp turned up with an LED bulb on it, and it gave just enough light. So you'll be amazed. Again, the light I use, that's my go-to light. I have other lights I go to. I'm going to show you a couple here in a minute. But you could do that. Now, here's another tip, and it's about diffusing the light. So right now, the light I have, it already is somewhat diffused, meaning it's just not that bright. So, there's like the light bulb that's bright, and then there's some diffusion. So like the Falcon Eyes, they also have a round one. I don't remember the name of it, but if you hit the link in the description of the lights I use and have, it's in there. And it actually is diffused in there for you, which is nice. This one is more brightness control. Other ones I have, you can control temperature. But you can diffuse with a shower curtain. So let's say you do the DIY thing, right? And you get a shop light, you get an LED bulb, get a shower curtain and get one of those or a frosted liner or something like that. And the nice thing about LED bulbs, they give off no heat. I could touch this light right now. It's been on for probably an hour. It's not going to get hot. So by doing that, you're not going to be worried about melting it. But there's also cloth and you can get. And there's certain types of material that are thin. Silk won't do that. It's too thick. But there's simple ways to DIY it yourself. What's called bouncing the light. So if you don't want to paint your walls white or something like that, get a big piece of white cardboard, go to the dollar store and pick up some of the poster board, and you can literally bounce the light off of that to reflect back. I could do that easily right now and fill in this right here. I just happen to like this look. It's not too dark, it's not too light. And then another one is my LED production lights. Again, you don't have to spend a lot. There's a big light I have that looks like Aperture, if you've heard of Aperture. And this one is called Godox. And it's about half the cost of the Aperture. The reason I don't use it a lot, I love it. And it's got a remote and everything like that. It's just really too big for my office studio space. So I have it kind of stored away and I can take on shoots or somewhere else, have a bigger space. And but the Godox is half the Aperture. Does the exact same thing, looks exactly the same, and is great for half the cost. So keep that in mind. But let me show you a couple of options. Now, speaking of Aperture, so this is an Aperture light, and I'm going to turn it on. It's going to be crazy bright, but anyway. But right now I've got it set to blue. It's showing up as white. But right now you kind of see it right there. It's a little blue. The intensity on this is very low. This light is phenomenal. It's about $90-ish. And let me put it up here so you can see it. I mean, it's very small. There's the back of it. These things are magnets, so they can stick to anything, which is really cool. But this light has built-in effects, so it'll strobe. It'll do soft pulsating. It'll do colors. So like right now I had it on blue. Again, if I just turn it there, you can kind of see it more in my glasses. A lot of times I've put it back over here as just an accent up there. It's very cool. You can do different colors. And it also comes with, you see the hole right there? So you can pop it right on a light stand or a little mini tripod or something like that. Here's the other thing. I've also got a lamp over in the back corner, and sometimes if it's darker when I'm shooting, it'll also rotate between colors, and so it gives me some nice colors in the background. So that's an option. What's really nice about this, you can also set it on top of a camera, including an iPhone or something like that. But here's another one I want to show you, and this is one of my favorites. Now, you're going to like this one. Somebody just said the other one is too expensive, so just go with me for a second. This is a Viltrox light. Again, I'm going to turn it on, but it's not going to... So it's pretty bright right now, right? I mean, you can see that. So, again, bright. But here's what's really nice. So I'm going to show you the back. And if you notice right here, it's at 20%. And you notice that's color. So if I do that, you can change... You notice it's changing it to, and so sometimes I've done it and it gives off a warmer look. I know it's just too bright right now, but I wanted to show it to you. This is a really cool light, and Can't find the power. But it takes these kind of batteries right there. I don't know the name of the battery, but I'll tell you right now, I bought knockoff newer and things like that, and they work just fine. It also can run off AC power. So these things come, I think this one comes with a power cord. If not, you have to pick it up. It's made by Viltrox. There's the name right there, if it'll focus. Viltrox light. This light, ladies and gentlemen, is under $40. And look at this. Look how thin this is. It's an LED. You can't scratch it at all. And I mean, I've got it on just a little Manfrotto tripod just to show you. Here's what I love about this light. I have a couple of these. When I first found out about them, I thought, wow, that's pretty amazing. See, it's actually getting a little darker in here. My camera's trying to get back into the look of it, so I'm going to adjust my light just a little. I've taken those lights everywhere. Throw them in a backpack, throw them in something like that. They're phenomenal. They travel well. I even took one when I went to Ecuador on a mission trip a couple of years ago, and I didn't want to take a bunch of big lights because I knew we were going to be what's called running and gunning a lot, just, shooting here, shooting here, shooting here, grabbing interviews while we could. So I took that light with a bunch of batteries. You always take more batteries than you need. And I just jumped it, or just threw it in there, and I used it a couple of times. We shot an interview in a hotel room, and I needed some light, and actually, you know what I did? I did that time. I took the covers off the lamps they had in the hotel room because they had LED bulbs, and that's what I used to light the guy I was interviewing. But other times I used that light, Viltrox, very, very simple. So Roz is saying that she likes the rectangle LED one. Do you mean this one or the other one? This one is also rechargeable. So in other words, it's got a built-in battery, and it comes with a cord, a USB cord. And so one of the things I do is I always charge it up before I use it. But one of the things it'll show you on here, I don't know if it'll focus on it or not. Yeah, it's a little hard to see. But right here, it'll tell you. Yeah, sorry, it's not focusing. It'll tell you how much battery you've got left, what color it's on, what intensity it's on, and things like that. So if you use a light like this and you go, I always like it like at 24%, it's easy to dial in. The Viltrox, love that light. And most of these lights, they make bigger ones. Like this Aperture, again, is like $90, but the Viltrox is about $40. And you don't need a ton of them, but it is a way to get into lighting if you want to add some production to it. So the key is, though, lighting is important to be able to see what the heck somebody is doing. So you can have too much, you can have too little placement. So I hope the mistakes help you from making those mistakes, and I hope the tips have helped you too. And if you've got some tips I did not mention, whether you're watching this live or you're watching playback, drop in the comments so the rest of the community can learn from this. I loved Katie being on and telling us about the new interview feature on Ecamm Live. It is amazing. And remember, as I always want to remember folks, or I do want to remind you, but that this show is powered by Ecamm Live. There is a link in the description. You can try it out for 14 days, free, no credit card. I think you're going to fall in love with it. I love it. I think you're going to love it. I'll be back in 2 weeks with Behind the Live. Don't know what we're going to do. I think over the weeks we're going to be talking about audio. We're going to be gears and gadget, little silly things you can do just to make your live even better. Hey, I'm Kevin Colby. Get out there and create something today that'll make an impact tomorrow. Peace out!
Put the needle on the record.